Yeah.
The Bald Fox.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bald Fox. And with me today is our guest star, Anthony Garibay.
Yeah, Antonio Garibay.
Antonio Garibay.
Yeah.
All right, so today we're going to go ahead and break down a few things. It's on the Bald Fox podcast. A lot of our audience doesn't even know kind of what we're about, what we're kind of going after, right? So what I want to do is take a moment, and I'm going to tell you some of the series that the Bald Fox is working on. It's very important because it's very dynamic in kind of what we cover. And even though a lot of you listeners listen to different types of podcasts, you go through different things that you're into and so forth, it's important to know what we're about. Everybody wants to know, what's the Bald Fox about? So, what we're going to talk about is, first, we have 4 series that are coming out starting in February, moving forward. One is talking about relationships. Now, wait. Everybody's wondering, why is the Bald Fox talking about relationships? This guy's already gone through divorce. What does he know about relationships? Well, let me tell you, just because somebody goes through divorce does not mean that they don't have any idea of what relationships are, what's important in a relationship, what keeps a relationship together. The reality is, if you actually read No More Mr. Nice Guy, you would actually find out that while he was writing that book, he literally was going through a divorce with his wife for more than a decade.
Man. Well, that's how you learn, right? Through failure.
So here's the thing. We learn through experience.
Right.
One of the biggest things that I take and I'm prideful of is I adapt. Not only do I adapt, but I listen to people. And in listening to people, I learn. So I am not perfect. In spite, I'm getting a call. Hold on.
What relationship is that?
Not one I want to answer right now. I evolve because I care. My job as a human being on this planet is to understand that we all play a particular role. In that role, we have an option. Part of that option is that we can become so set in our ways that we are not willing to change the mold of who we are. Or through our experiences and our relationships, we learn, we see, we grow, we make little tweaks and things here because it serves the better purpose of our happiness and the happiness of people around us. So, on the Bald Fox podcast, we're going to talk about different topics. Let's talk about that for a second. So, one of the main topics that we're going to talk about is entertainment. For people who know who I am or what I do, or people who don't, my passion was to be an actor as a child.
Yeah.
And also, I've sang for over 30 years. So I have produced a dozen movies. I'm now recording an album. I'm doing things because these things are important to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And because of that, I've learned through we'll use the phrase, school of hard knocks, what to do and what not to do in getting into the entertainment business, how to do it, how to actually make money in the entertainment business, what's important, what's not, what's the basic foundation of entertainment and how that works. Now, number 2 is relationships. Now, relationships is a universal topic.
Yeah.
It applies to a girlfriend, boyfriend, a husband, wife, your family, your children, your friends, the work environment, the relationships that you perform within all of those realms, right?
Yeah, right.
And they're all different. They're all unique. They all have their secret little things that go on about them, right? But under the series that the Bald Fox podcast is putting out, we're going to focus in on a few areas that I feel are very important. One is healing from past relationships. Now, I think you and I are going to get into a little bit more of this as we talk about today's episode.
We got some tissue. Some from
I might use a whole box. But healing from past relationships is very important. So we'll pause on that.
Sure.
Also, as we know, there's love languages. We'll touch on that. We'll touch on listening and communication because these are some of the key fundamentals of relationships. It doesn't matter what the relationship is. Then we're going to talk about the dating do and don'ts. This is important because today's world is way different than it was even 10, 15, 20 years ago in the dating world.
And that one, he's going to have some females on because that's something that has to come from both sides.
Absolutely.
They're already lined up.
So in that, we already have a schedule on play. All these episodes will start coming out in February and March.
Yep.
And we are going to bring guest stars on that are going to give us an idea of perspective, both from men and women. Because sometimes, as guys, we don't always get it right. But also, there's also the imagery of women in dating today. So we want to address both and get some, we'll just say, controversial topics on this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, moving past that, we want to talk about relationships with family. This is actually kind of an important one because how we're raised today really sets the foundation of how we become men in the world later. You know, over the weekend, I was spending some time with some people and I realized that there's a lot of things changing in the world today. And we don't want to look at things necessarily from a closed lens. We need to open it up and say, okay, where are we at? Because the foundation of how, say, you or I was raised back then is 100% different than the way kids are raised today.
Yeah.
And the way they treat their parents and how we're molding them into being, let's just say it, pussies or real men that are going to stand up and be there as what we expect them to be in the ongoing generations. You got to remember, how we mold our children today, they're the ones that are going to, fly the flagship when we're older.
Yeah.
So on that, we're also going to touch on intimacy in relationships. This is important because there's a big disconnect sometimes. There's a big disconnect in the feminine aspect of a woman, the masculinity of a man, the way that we want to transfer that energy or communicate our femininity and our intimacy with one another, the expectations of intimacy.
Dang, that just gave me an aha moment. I feel like a woman being feminine, like she might lack some respect, or some, like she can't, like a man, and then a man having the masculinity is like, they got to balance out, not being like,
overbearing.
Overbearing. Yeah.
Controlling. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
It just hit me. Yep.
I'll tell you from my own personal experience. My wife, she has this thing where she's had past relationships that she views in a certain way.
Yeah.
Okay. And a lot of people can relate to this because what happens is we're in relationships and suddenly, because of the experiences and things that we're in, it molds us. And if we don't deal and process some of that stuff and we carry it forward, now we may become fearful to bring down our walls. And what happens? Now the woman tries to protect herself.
Yeah.
So now she's being more masculine when she has somebody who can be masculine in the areas where he needs to be, but when he looks at his wife or significant other, he wants to be sincere and loving.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that's a disconnect based on where we are.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into that on that topic.
Sure.
And then there's trust and commitment.
Ooh.
Now, when we talk about this is a really serious area of any relationship, right? I don't think it matters what you're in. But when you talk about trust and commitment, you are choosing to be with somebody.
Yeah.
And you give them a unconditional trust and commitment that you're going to love and be there and all this stuff,
Yeah.
right? And then what happens when it's broken?
Right.
How do you repair that? How do you walk through that line? And what is each party's part on what they need to bring to the table?
Yeah.
That's important.
And it's kind of important in all relationships, right? It's like, I know recently you've helped, I'm sure it's happened many times, certain people, and only to find out that they completely drive it in your back and twist it and everything. So it's like that trust and commitment, like, who can you really trust these days? You know, it's like, you know, people, you might trust them with, hey, you drop $100 bill, they got you. But then you put them in front of your girl, they don't got you, or vice versa, right? So like, how do you, you know, integrity is integrity.
And I think this is going to be a very, very controversial and dynamic topic.
Sure, yeah.
You're right. For me, a lot of people who genuinely know me know that I'll take the shirt off my back for somebody. I go on blind faith, expecting nothing in return.
Take the shirt off your back for me.
Anytime you want, baby.
Yeah, well, I've experienced that aspect from you over and over since I've met you, absolutely, and it's definitely a fortunate.
And you know, and here's the thing
yeah.
for me, and I appreciate that. And,
Yeah.
here's the thing is that for me, I do it because I believe in people.
Sure.
And I have faith that good people are going to be good people and they're going to do right.
Yeah.
Now, what happens when they do you dirty, when they do you wrong? How do you forgive? How do you allow them back in? What is the process of that? How does that work? And as I get older, I understand now the part of removing toxicity from your life or people that are not mature enough to understand a good relationship or what's being done for them.
Relationships are a lot of work.
Whew. But our life is built on them.
Yeah.
So we're also going to talk about soulmates. You know, here's what's interesting about soulmates. People think that the dying urge of what soulmates mean is it's this unfound deep love of passion, right? It's this thing where you come to a realization that you can't live without that person.
Yeah.
And I think we all have a different interpretation, but broadly,
Yeah.
I think that covers it.
I found my soulmate. Yeah, yeah. His name is
looking
Too
at-
Legit.
Woo!
Yeah.
I thought you were looking in the mirror. You know, I've been blessed that I have met a lot of amazing people and women in my life.
Yeah.
They all have played a very, very important, significant role. Now, what I will say is, you know, a little under 4 years ago, I met somebody that really, really, there was something that was inside me very deep, and it was something I couldn't even explain.
Yeah.
And even though there's challenges and there's different things that are going on and everything else, you have a unique, deep connection to somebody
Yeah.
that it's unexplainable. And, you know, even over the last, say, 12 years, the relationships that I've established that are ironically so deep and embedded in me, the roots are so deep.
Yeah.
I believe that those are soulmate connections. And we'll talk about that more as we go on.
Yeah.
Now, part of the relationship, the series, is going to talk about what is love. I think sometimes people mistake falling in love and that in love feeling for deep, real love.
Yeah.
Okay? Because remember, in the beginning, we're all putting the best foot forward. We're all doing the happy dance. We're all doing all the things that give us butterflies and excite us and make us happy, and they're flirty and they're doing all these things, right? Here's the thing. If you put anybody in that situation and they're always in a good, healthy situation, they're always going to be, well, unless they get comfortable and they lock you in and then they change, which does happen.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll talk more on that topic. What makes people fall in love and fall out of love? Now, this is very, very important because as we talk about this, falling in love and falling out of love can align in a lot of different ways, but it can be so devastating and heartbreaking in others, right? And some of it can be because of lack of communication, lack of bringing down walls, lack of this, lack of that.
Sure.
We're going to get into it.
And if I may, the thing is about that is it doesn't even have to be a male, female, or in some people's situations, male, female, but it can be even with your family, because there's people who hate their family members and you're pretty much in love with them, right? Growing up, your brother, sister, mom, dad, and then they get into these clashes where there's just this hate and animosity. So it's kind of like falling out of love, you know? It's like it takes something so devastating like that to change people.
I believe that you're right. Love comes in a lot of forms to different people, right?
Yeah.
There is a love for your family. And again, we know that with family, you can't choose your family. You can choose your friends. You can choose the person you're with. And the love that you have for your family is supposed to be an unconditional love. And ultimately, you want to build an unconditional love with all the people that are in your life.
Yeah.
Because that love and loyalty is supposed to be a build of bond. And it's interesting because, you know, I come from a fairly decent-sized family. I'm one of 7 children.
Yeah.
I know that at any given moment, I can call my sister, who's our oldest sibling. I can call my 2 youngest brothers. I can call a couple of my other brothers. You know, there's a couple that I probably don't talk to as much as others.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I care about them less. It just means that our dynamics are a little different.
Sure.
Right? I know that a lot of the friendships that I have in today's world, and I have some that go back, over 30 years. And those relationships are just as valuable and important. And I know that sometimes I can get with those people and it's almost like I never skipped a beat.
Yeah.
And today, some of the relationships I have today are actually more meaningful in my life now. And, you know, you can't always put a time on benefit of real friendships.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that.
Yeah, I was just telling a couple people I've been telling lately that, like, I am so fortunate with friends in my life right now. Like, I mean, like, this is my life, my friends. And I'm like, my whole entire life is paid for by my friends. Like, everything, not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually. Like, you know, I got Moses spiritually. I got you guys, you know, just like friends and everything, place to stay, you know, and then I have, you know, Jeremy with the office and commercial real estate.
Sure.
And then I have all and my friend Ted with my truck and all this stuff. Like, I mean, I've just got these people in my life that are, you know, showing me that the race that I've run, you know, wasn't in vain, you know?
Well, and here's the thing is, and I'm sure in future episodes, we'll talk more on it. You have had a challenging life.
Yeah.
In today's world, you are seeing that there's probably been times when it would have been easier to go off the path.
Yeah.
But by staying on the path, the people that care about you are surrounding you, and they're trying to support you because they all see, including myself, the bigger and better good and the process and the ability and the faith in who you are and what you can achieve, right?
See, and my family didn't see that in me. They blackballed me, you know, they black sheeped me. So to have people that accept me, because that's what a lot of the people's issues are, is rejection.
Sure.
You know, not being accepted. So
Sure.
to have people that, let alone help me and everything, I mean, that's a whole nother world. But the fact that I'm not rejected. That's it's something I'm realizing a lot. A lot of these podcasts too that you're doing are really, after I listen to them again and again, they're really, they are therapeutical. They are digging into, make it thought provoking. They're really making me dig deeper.
And that's the impact that I want to have for the audience.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I have gone through an enormous amount in my life.
Yeah.
Both business, financially, heartbreak, sorrow, loss. I have gone through a lot. And here's the thing. Ultimately, I still stand here and go, I still want to find ways to help.
Yeah.
And it's easy for me to go and want to crawl in a hole and give up on life and what's going on. But at the same time, I have a mythology that says, okay, you take this, you suck it up for a bit, and then you learn from it.
Yeah.
You identify what the issues are. You try to grow and improve and become better. And I'll tell you, anybody that knows me knows I'm a fighter. I fight for, my relationships with my kids. I fight for business. I fight for love in my marriage and relationships that I'm in. People know that if I'm there, I'm giving it 100%.
Sure.
And it's not always perfect and it's not always great, but they also know that I'm going to stand there and I'll admit when I'm wrong and I do the things that I need to try to repair and fix it.
Yeah.
It's not an easy process. And for most people, they would probably give up long ago.
Yeah.
And, when people hear my life in totality, they sit there and say, I have no idea how you are as level-minded and still happy as you are. Well,
sure.
There's been times when I've been really low.
Yeah.
There's been times when I've gone off the cliff.
Yeah.
There's been times when my fear has overcome me to a point where I wasn't sure what I was going to do. But you have to find ways to get through it and face those fears.
Yeah.
The one thing that is true and tried is we can't change yesterday. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow's not yet here. We need to focus on today and make it the best day we can.
Sure.
We can choose to allow the stress, the anguish, the anger, the fears sit on our shoulders and put us in deeper depression or in a hole.
Yeah.
The saying, put our head in the sand.
Yeah.
Or we continue to get up. We fight through those moments. We love ourselves enough to know that we're good. And then we stand back up and we try to push forward.
Yeah.
The thing is that a lot of times people have a fear that if they don't finish it today or they don't accomplish it today, they give up.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. Whatever I didn't finish today, I'll try again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Eventually, I will get there. And it's not going to necessarily be the easiest and the best path, but I'll get there.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people in the world that are listening to our podcast, they feel that too. And what we want to do is we want to show you guys that there are many people out there like you. And by the way, there is a ton of podcasts out there. Now, what's going to make us different is, first, we are real people. We're not fronting. We're not putting up a show. We are literally telling you real life experiences. And by the way, part of our relationship podcast that we have coming out, we recently did an episode on compromise, a huge fundamental of relationships. That's going to be coming out soon.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. That's going to be out within probably a couple days. And that'll start teeing off the series for our relationship series, right? But here's the thing. I've been doing a lot of research, and I see that there's a lot of amazing podcasts out there. There's also some that people are using this platform because they have alternative motives of what they're trying to achieve. So, for the listening audience, be smart.
Yeah.
Be aware. Listen to things that really feel like they impact you, they're relatable to you, But what you'll find with the Bald Fox is not only do we try to be educational, we give real life experience, we joke, we laugh, we have fun, we sing, we do all kinds of fun stuff because we want to show that just like you, we are no different. And we want to connect with our audience, engage with you guys, bring you on the show, talk to you guys live, and really have the fun engagement and create entertainment that you guys can enjoy.
And real quick, if you go to YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, where do some of the podcast ones? Apple Podcast. Yeah.
You can go to
Google
Spotify, any of these ones. You can go on to our link and subscribe to the bio. In the bio on the Bald Fox Podcast on Instagram or any of those, you'll get a hole in the link tree. You'll see all the different platforms we're on. Yep. Jump on there. Let's join in. And we look forward to the audience coming in and engaging with us because that's what it's about.
And you can check out the Guy Griffith website as well. And soon he's got some music he's been working on, right? We're going out there recording all these cover songs, and we're going to have some originals coming out. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going. The Bald Fox is live, Guy Griffith live. You guys got to check it out. Just all you got to do is check out YouTube, right? TikTok, like I was saying, all the platforms you can go on. You can check out the podcast. You can check out his music, and just keep tuning in.
And here's the thing. Make sure when you go on there, comment. We listen. And I'm going to give a shout out to Ryan in Oregon. This is somebody that sent me a video a couple days ago showing his love and appreciation for what we do on the show, the stories we tell, and I wanted to give a shout out to him. I know that you've gone through some stuff in your life. I know that your heart is pure and where it is. We all go through hard times. We are here for you. Feel free to comment. Feel free to come in. We'll bring you on the show. We'll engage with it, but know that you have a support group.
It's over that Bald Fox music, though.
Where's the Bald Fox?
The Bald Fox is over there cooking it up as always.
There we go.
Always cooking.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bald Fox. We are happy that you joined us in today's session. We look forward to our future engagements. We hope that you guys come and join us. And most important, the Bald Fox and his team, we love you guys. And we look forward to a future of happiness and joy. Until next time, Bald Fox is out.
Yeah.